All right, we're gonna call this meeting to order. Uh, we are first gonna start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand. Great, thanks, James. Uh, Next, can I get a motion to adopt the
Romano
agenda?
adopts the agenda.
Support Zinner. Okay, we have a motion by Romano, support by Zinner. Next, can I get a motion to approve the minutes dated April?
Vote on that.
Oh, sorry, vote. So excited to get this.
Oh, you're so excited. Full house.
Motion passes 9-0.
Perfect. Now we're going to move on to 4A, motion to approve minutes dated April 14th, 2026.
Motion to approve?
Support. Thank you. Please vote.
Motion passes 9-0.
Thank you. Now we're moving on to public participation. This is the first opportunity for public participation for anyone who wishes to speak for a maximum of 3 minutes on any item which is on today's agenda. You will have another opportunity to speak later for anything not on the agenda, but for now, do we have anyone that wants to speak on something on the agenda? No one wants to speak? Okay, we can move on to 6A and B. Can I get a motion to receive and file 6A and B, the quarterly financial report and the Central Intake Assessment Center project update?
So move.
Support.
Please vote.
You gotta call him up.
Oh. And we have a speaker for the,
Scanlon, John Scanlon.
okay, for the finance report. John?
Good afternoon, Board. This month I provided a memo with all the updated information for your convenience. So if there's any additional questions outside of what was provided in the memo, I'm happy to kind of answer any questions that might offer some clarification on the memo. So.
Do we have any questions for John? I see no speakers, but I want to give you a chance. Nope, no speakers, no questions. Got off easy.
All right, perfect.
Thank you.
All right, thank you guys.
Good job.
And then the central intake, did we have any speakers on that one?
Here he comes. Ben Tripp.
All right, all yours, Ben.
I think we're waiting on the presentation here.
Okay.
Nothing on the screen yet. There we go. All right, good afternoon, everyone.
It's not on ours.
I suspect this will probably be my easiest item today. This is the dashboard report and the quarterly report for the Central Intake Assessment Center project. I have with me my colleagues here from Plante, Moran, and Realpoint to discuss, go through these slides. So I have Joe Asperger is going to start. Welcome back.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Thanks for having us. Should be a relatively quick report. Everything just continues to move on very well and very timely. I'll whip through kind of the first part of it. Again, kind of our agenda running through, as a reminder, some of our missions, what our status is relative to funding, our procurement status, design, and then I'm going to turn this over to my colleague Brian to talk through where we are from a construction standpoint. Again, you've seen these with each of our reports, but still keeping it forefront of our minds as we move through our goals and our objectives. From a funding status, project budget has not changed at the $230 million. And from a budget status standpoint, we do continue to stay on time and within budget. And as always, refer to our monthly dashboard reports for more details relative to some of the commitments and forecasts. Procurement status, for the most part, our professional services have all been bought out. We're in process of working with interior environments on our non-detention furniture package as we look to outfit some of the non-detention type areas, offices, front lobby, and a lot of those type of spaces. Any of our move aspects are still deferred until later this year when we look to transition some of the existing spaces over into the new central intake space. Relative to construction technology and FF&E, our technology, couple technology packages on the agenda today that IT and Metro Technologies are bringing forth, which will buy out specific equipment around network as well as video surveillance, access control, and the like. So those will be brought before you yet today. We still have another technology package relative, which will be a much smaller one relative to AV, getting into things like some of the monitors and that type of equipment for this application is pretty minor. And then we'll later be buying out our furnishings and equipment as well as signage. From a design status, nothing has really changed. We continue to forecast and we're planning some of our next efforts relative to the demolition and rehab later this summer and into fall. And our preparation to that, much of which is contingent upon completion of some work that's happening within the tower and our ability to move and manage some of the inmate population. Existing site plan, renderings of this, just to remind you, much of which is starting to take shape. If you drive by, and you'll start to see much of the shape of the building through the precast and a lot of the windows enclosing the envelope of the building. Some different views from the west end, the vehicle sally port, drive-through in the foreground, and then some of our entry type spaces and interior as you enter in from the exterior on the south side, the new intake into the lobby space. As well as some other staff-related spaces relative to locker rooms, interior courtyards. And then we get into some of our day room type spaces, inmate spaces that provide some of their living areas. These are actually representative of the fresh air court, so they appear interior, but they do provide exterior access on each of the floors on each of those ends of the building. I'm going to turn this over to Brian to talk about where we are from a construction standpoint.
Thanks, Joe. Thank you, commissioners. So I get to talk about the fun stuff today. So if you've driven by or have been seen from the street, there's a lot of activity going on. So the precast facade is substantially complete. You'll see some leave outs along there as they load materials into the building. You need some of that space, and those will get put on as the building gets buttoned up. Concrete roof slab has been completed. Your mechanical, electrical, plumbing, roughing is ongoing throughout the entire building on all levels. The metal stud installation is finalizing on levels 1 and 3 and ongoing on level 4 as well. The glazing installation, as you've probably seen, is working its way up the building. So the building enclosure is really taking shape. So you can see that's working its way up as well. The roofing activities have started. There's multiple different roof levels, as you've seen. So they're working on all those levels right now, waterproofing and prepping to dry in the space. The photo you see on the right, that's the detention wall panels have started, and those are working on level 1, 2, and 3. So they're moving right along there as well. And just on the landscape side, you've seen the retaining walls have gone in. So if you've driven down Dunham, you've seen those going up, which I think have been a great add to the building itself. Some of the photos you'll see here, so some of the rooftop units that will heat and cool the space have been flown into the locations there. In the upper level in the center, you can see more of the detention wall panels that have been installed. The penthouse roofing, that'll also enclose some of the more mechanical spaces and then work from the center spine staircase that gets all the way up to that roof level. Lower left is the retaining wall that I had mentioned. In the center, that is the connector that connects the existing jail facility to the new facility. That's in process and ongoing through structural steel and enclosure. And then you can see on the bottom right, some of the basement substation equipment, electrical is ongoing and equipment is being installed. One of the items we did want to know, if anybody had been paying attention, past April's been a very rainy month. So we had lots of rain. I think we had actually some almost 4 to 5 inches in a few different weeks there. One of the items that we did take forward here, and with the help of the board and increasing the upgrades to the stormwater system, we mitigated a lot of the items that has been seen around that area through flooding along Dunham and the adjacent properties. So if you didn't notice any of the water over there, that's a good thing. So the site drained really well, no backups into any of the buildings. So that investment has paid off. For the CIP capital improvement projects, the renovations through Pod D have been completed, and Pod E through the areas of the tower are ongoing. As you can see in the upper right-hand corner, the shooting range renovations have been completed and are in current use for qualifiers. The new fire command center build-out is ongoing as well, which will tie in the whole new fire system. Network switch upgrades, those are actually completed, and that fixed a lot of the bug issues that have been going on. That was just recently done the past couple weeks. The new generator duct bank work has begun as well for the new generator that will handle the CIP facility. As you see in the lower right, the modernization of the elevators for bringing them back technically from the Stone Age here are ongoing, and the additional elevator modernization work is ongoing as well. As you can see in the upper left-hand corner, that's the generator duct bank I have referenced. Some of the pod work, as you can see in the chase spaces, new chiller installation, the lower left, your fire command center, and then the additional build-out in between the CIP and the CIAC, as well as some additional ducting and ductwork tying as we've done for the renovations to the facility. Just a high level on the schedule. So like as Joe had mentioned, we are still on time. We're working through the pods, as you've seen there, working through the fire command center, and then the renovations to the vehicle maintenance. We are heavy in construction at times, of 150 tradespeople working. So we're moving very well out there and working to the goal to have everything completed with the ARPA funding completion in mind. Questions?
Any questions? You removed yours?
I have one, yeah. Thank you, Chair. Just a couple, if I may.
Sure.
First, now that you're really into the meat of it, so to speak,
Yeah.
any cost surprises that you did not anticipate that are popping up?
Nothing that we haven't been able to contain through either value engineering, working with the contractors, and then just general items of construction through contingency. So nothing that would affect the budget.
So nothing coming back here saying, guys, we need some more money?
Not on the overall budget, no, sir.
Okay. And just a statement on the second one. They say a picture's worth 1,000 words. I don't know about any of my other commissioners here, but by showing me pictures and seeing how this comes along, because I don't drive over there to look.
Sure.
I mean, it helps me get a better grip on where you're at, what you're doing, even though I don't understand some of these things, but looking at the pictures, I can see somewhat where you're at, and it helps me kind of realize where we're going on this thing. So I appreciate it. That's all I have, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Zinner?
Thank you, Chair. I go to a meeting at Martha Teaberry every month, and I drive over and see the difference every time, and I drive around each side, and it's just awesome. Honestly, it's pretty impressive. I can't wait to walk in it when it's done, honestly.
Yeah, no, I mean, the teams have been working great together, and we really appreciate the feedback.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, guys.
I don't see.
Thank you, Chair.
You're welcome. I don't see any other questions. Sarah, do you have anything?
No?
Okay. I'm going to ask the commissioners to please vote again.
Thank you.
Yes.
Motion passes 11-0.
All right, thank you. Okay, we are going to move on to the department recommendations. First, 7A, Contract Professional Services Industries, Inc., DBA Intertek PSI, the Central Intake and Assessment Jail Capital Improvement Project, $53,000. We have Ben. Can I get a motion for that?
Chair, Chair, can I ask we take A, B, C, and D together?
Thank you.
C and is D Ben too? Okay. Okay. D is Jaco, right? So A, B, and C.
Please.
And we have a support from Zinner. Thank you. All right, Ben is already up.
I am. Okay. Good afternoon again. So 7A, these are the next three that we took together. They are all part of the Central Intake Assessment Center or the capital improvement projects associated. 7A is a contract with Professional Service Industries, Inc., DBA is Intertek PSI. Intertek PSI is a third-party testing company under contract for the Central Intake and Assessment Center project. Amendment 8 in front of you today includes additional visits to the Central Intake and Assessment Center for the following items: curtain wall observations and to assist with revolving issues, continued periodic roof site visits, roof punch list and closeout, remaining construction material testing services, soils and earthwork observation and testing, cast in place concrete, structural steel, masonry observation, paving, fireproofing observations, and associated laboratory testing. Funding is available in the CIAC and CIP improvement project budget. Going right into 7B is another amendment. This one is for ABF Environmental. This contract amendment includes the following. It is jail rehab unit, asbestos air monitoring, and general demolition air monitoring, environmental consulting, project management, hazardous material assessment and reporting, air monitoring oversight, contractor management, heavy metals monitoring and testing, closeout reporting, and on-call emergency services as needed. The amendment is the amount not to exceed $116,500. Funding for this is also available in the Central Intake and Assessment Center in Macomb County Jail CIP project budget. Finally, 7C, contract with Partners in Architecture for the Central Intake and Assessment Center project. This is an amendment, the amount of $21,053. Included in the project scope for the CIAC CIP project was consolidation of multiple old small generators and the replacement of the existing 2 megawatt generator for the jail. These generators serve various areas in the existing jail tower and have served their useful life. The existing 2 megawatt generator is inside an enclosure adjacent to the booking area outside the current jail. The new generator is larger than the old, not leaving the required space dictated by code, and not enough room for repairs and maintenance within the existing protective structure. Thus, we require a design to modify the enclosure. Partners in Architecture amendment includes the following: additional fees for existing jail generator enclosure modifications, including engaging the architect's civil, structural, and electrical engineers to complete the drawings and specifications needed. Funding for this is also available in the Central Intake and Assessment Center and Capital Improvement Project.
Great, thank you, Ben. We do have a few questions. Commissioner Howard?
Hey, Ben, how are you doing?
Hi, good.
Just not familiar with the process of the air monitoring. You use the phrase as needed.
Yep.
So I'm making the assumption that it's kind of like a continuous monitoring, or like, how does that work?
Yeah, so a couple different things. During demolition, we do kind of gross area sampling.
Got you. Yep. We're on the same page. I
Yeah,
can't talk
so
today
with
either.
that, so those are area monitors around the demo site, and that's to be sure that we're not putting anything into the air that would harm local neighborhoods or people in the area around it. The on-call is really if they discovered something through the demo that we did not find through the hazardous material assessment, they did call the on-call environmental consultant to do testing. So we may find additional material that looks like asbestos, so we'll ever tested that we may not have accounted for, mold, different metals or whatever it may be that kind of come up as part of the demo process. So as we uncover walls and ground and dirt, if we find something unusual, we'll do on-call and environmental consulting.
Yeah. Which I don't know that this is going to be a concern, but this is my, when large construction buildings were done near my house, I think it was North Point Development, like when they were tearing up a lot of stuff, the wind would blow and we would see like sometimes clouds of dust.
Yeah, so that's what the area monitors are for. They'll alert the team immediately that there's the dust particulates too high or you know, if there's some unknown contaminant in the area. The area monitors are real time, so they'll notify them.
Okay.
And they check them throughout the day with their personnel. And it also allows us to kind of change the way the demo's done, where we add more water or maybe stop for the day, depending on winds and those sort of things. So those are all real-time adjustments based on kind of what's happening on the site. Yep.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure
And it's all
residents.
logged and everything, so the county protects, you know, liability-wise and OSHA-wise, all that stuff. Yep.
Gotcha. I just want to make sure residents or the local government
Absolutely.
didn't have to reach out to us, that we're already
Yep.
proactive.
Yep.
So
We're
thank you
logging
so
in
much
real
for
time.
explaining that.
Absolutely.
Chair Sabatini?
Thank you. Hey, Ben. So for all three of these items, are these just continuations of the existing contracts?
Yeah, they're amendments to existing contracts. yes.
Okay, so we didn't have this grand total in the original contract. This is something we're just extending?
Yeah, they're amendments. You know, the ABF, for example, is the third amendment. It's just, some of it's, we don't know how much on-call will be or how much material, so some of it's kind of a guess. So these amendments are to extend their contract value to account for whatever's coming
Okay.
up. Yeah.
Will this take us through the complete project, or could there be a possibility where you're gonna need another extension?
ABF, this will take us all the way through demos, so I don't foresee much going on there. Intertek, foresee any future? Yeah. Yeah, so this should take it to the end. Yeah, with Intertek, with the third-party testing.
Okay.
The Partners in Architecture is kind of a one-time thing, and that's just for this enclosure that we didn't account for.
That's the enclosure of,
It's like a brick structure that goes around the generator on the south side of the building.
okay, that picture that we just saw earlier.
do you have a
Is
picture
that
of
one of
that?
that?
No, I
No,
don't think so.
it's a different one? Okay.
It's an independent building, just sits a few feet off the booking ramp, and that houses the generator. It helps with sound and obviously protects it from things crashing
Okay,
into it.
great, thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. I thought I saw Commissioner Lucido's name, but it may be removed. No? Okay.
Not again.
Please vote.
Motion passes 11-0.
Thank you. Okay, moving right along to 7D. I'm going to combine D and E. They're both with JACO. Can I get a motion to recommend to full board for C and D? Or D and E, I apologize, D and E. Yes, thank you. Any second? Okay. Have a motion by Lucido, second by Perna. JACO.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. This is an agreement for the CIAC environment to implement surveillance and access control. The amount is $2.998715 million, which includes a performance bond of $20,190. This provides centralized control of the county standard in unison with other county facilities, including the current jail that we have. Implementing a standardized modern security system supports long-term operational effectiveness. I just want to mention that at this point in time, and I'm going to talk about this in some of the other presentations I have, we have significant volatility in pricing right now, and short-term volatility, so it is extremely difficult for us to get companies to commit. In this case, I think we'll be good, but some of the other ones I do today, because of chip shortages all over the world, prices are changing significantly in very short time spans. That's it. If you have any questions.
All right, I do see a question from Commissioner Hall.
Thank you, Chair. Hi, Jaco.
Hi, Commissioner.
Is this coming out of the CIAC budget?
That's correct.
That's all I needed. Thank you.
Chair Sabatini?
Thank you. Jaco, I know we approved the network cabling cleaning to salvage all the cabling that we had there. Is that cabling going to be used for this system at all, or is this?
It is not for this system. It's one of the systems I'm presenting under our agenda.
Okay,
The very first system there.
so this is all brand new
This is
cabling that
all
we had to run.
Brand new cabling,
Okay,
video equipment, everything.
and this will be in sync, like you said, with all of our other buildings
Yes.
across the county.
If you remember, we came to the board earlier this year to do, the rest of the county buildings, and so we're in process of doing that. It is the same equipment, same systems, everything, so
Okay,
much easier
and
to maintain.
what's I probably asked this before when you brought that, what's like the useful life on these cameras, this technology? How long will it last us?
It's hard to say. We don't really stick like with PCs to a specific replacement plan, but I would say when you go beyond 5 years, you're starting to push the limits.
Okay, all right, thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Commissioner Howard?
Jaco, not really a question, just wanted to point out, not a fan of no bid contracts, but this is one of them. But just want to highlight Motor City Technologies providing a 40% discount on all equipment. So like that's a huge win for the county right there. So thank you.
It is, and we hold them to that. They've been very generous and great to work with. And it's also a vendor that knows the county infrastructure really well. So there's no learning curve. A very successful vendor as far as we are concerned.
Yeah, thank you so much.
All right.
I'm good.
Hey, checking. Please vote, commissioners.
Motion passes 11-0.
Thank you. Thank you, Jaco. Next, 7F is a resolution 2026-15366, a resolution to authorize the city of St. Clair Shores to collect 2026 winter tax levy on the 2026 summer tax bill for all parcels with a tax bill of $100 or less. Can I get a motion to recommend to full board?
Move Zinner. Support.
Support. You have a question?
Well, a statement. I don't think I've ever seen a tax bill for a total under $100 or less. I have no idea what that is.
Where you live?
It happens to my dad all the time. He'll pay
Have
his
it in
taxes and then he'll
Clemens,
get a $50 tax bill
Yep,
even after he pays it.
$30 tax bill.
Where?
Oh, I didn't
Oh, I
receive.
didn't.
Did
There's
we-
nobody here.
No?
Skip says, I don't want to answer that.
Yep, did you want to
We do the same
explain
here.
the $30,
I
$50?
never heard that answer.
This is
We
what we
have it
do
in
every
Mount
year,
Clemens.
Skip.
No, we never bring them up.
The city of St. Clair Shores has a very small millage that they bill. It would normally go on the winter tax bill. There's a statute that since 2013, they were able to push it from winter to the summer. What you're doing is just fulfilling the statutory mandate for them to be able to do that. So it's just a small bill that otherwise come out. There's about 14,000 bills, if I recall correctly, so they're saving a lot on paper and postage by doing this.
I have a quick question. So St. Clair Shores does this, and I know we do this resolution every year. Do we have any other cities that you know of that will do this?
I'm not aware of who
Okay.
charges what at that level. I don't know.
Okay, because I would love for Mount Clemens to not send the $30 tax bill just added on.
Well, if I understand the statute correctly, they're eligible to apply for this if they wish.
Okay, I'll be sure to pass that along. Save some money.
Thank you all.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Skip. Please vote.
Seems like it.
Motion passes 11-0.
Thank you. 7G, can I get a motion to recommend to full board the 2027 budget review calendar?
Support.
Do we have any comments on that one? Please vote.
Oops.
Motion passes 11-0.
Thank you. And 8A, can I get a motion to receive and file open bids as of May 13th, 2026?
So moved. Support.
Moved by Lucido, supported by Howard. Any questions on this one? No. Please vote. All right, at this time, we are going to move on to Internal Service
passes
Committee.
11-0.
Our Chair, Sabatini, is going to take over.
Thank you, Commissioner. All right, we'll go to Internal Service Committee Department recommendations. We've got a couple here, 10A and 10B. I'll take a motion. This is for budget amendment for information technology, electronics replacement for the Macomb County Jail for $4,877,450.90.
So moved.
Support. Moved by Wall, supported by Goike. And Jaco, I think you're speaking on this item.
Commissioner Sabatini, this is the project you were talking about earlier. This project's being done in unison with the CIAC project because the system that we need for this is going to be used both by the current jail as well as CIAC. This is county funded because it obviously addressed the current jail. The vendor Accurate Controls are under contract to complete this for CIAC as well as the current jail. The original budget was, I think, 5.2 million, and we were able to reduce this to the level we're asking for today. And one of the main reasons is what Commissioner Sabatini mentioned earlier. We made some pre-changes to the environment, put in some equipment that actually helped us significantly in solving the issues that we had in the current jail. And then obviously, once the CIAC comes online, we'll be using both these systems in unison. And this is really a security system for jail doors in the current jail as well as in the new CIAC facility.
Okay, we have a few questions. Commissioner Hall.
Thank you, Chair. Jaco, the need is obviously apparent, but I was reading the motion to approve FY 2026 budget amendment for information technology, an amount of $4.8 million by decreasing the non-departmental capital outlay fund 101 budget page C63 with a corresponding increase to operating transfers out in order to transfer funds to the capital improvement fund F101 page C62 provide funding for the informational technology accurate control security electronics replacement at Macomb County Jail. What does that say? Somebody's got to explain that. Well, simple question, is this coming out of the CIAC budget?
No, it's not coming out.
No, it's not. So it's not included in the budget summary we just had.
Yeah, we budgeted for it in the IT budget.
Okay, so what does this say? Maybe John wants to explain
We
that?
get from the finance office.
Well,
We don't.
if I was you, I would too. James thought it was funny.
Whatever James says.
It's all yours, John.
I think we just gave you all the technicalities on that and the exact line items in the departments that it was kind of going to, so.
I can't.
Oh, sorry. I think this is just giving you all the exact technical detail. I mean, we can put it in more in like a summary format if that's a little bit easier for you.
How about English?
Yeah, that's fine.
That would work perfect for me. Thank you. That's all I have, Chair.
Commissioner Goike.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Mr. Jaco, for this. If I, listening to you and following everything, made sense with Motor City because we had to pull monies out of a different fund for updating the jail, the old jail, so it can tie into the new jail, where the money would be coming from the new jail's budget, and by using them, and then tying the two monies together so that they both work together in the end. Is that my right assessment?
Yeah, it is so that the same vendor work on the system in both facilities, and we don't have, because at the end, when the whole system is up, there's going to be common controls of the whole system.
Yeah, it's like, because they'd be using the same cable trays, they're already there, they can pull the new fiber optics and all together, so it made a lot of sense, and that's why it's two different budgets as well, because it has to cover the old one, the old building and the new. So, thank you, I got it.
Thank you, Commissioner. I just want to say thumbs up to a $400,000 savings, so that's all I got. I don't see any other speakers. Please vote.
I agree, James. No.
Commissioner Lucido, the system didn't catch your vote.
Lucido is yes.
Motion passes 11-0.
Yes.
Okay, next is 10C. This is agreements with Information Technologies and maintenance agreements for second quarter 2026 in the amount of $1,126,021.19. This is for a Workday subscription. I think it's Exxon Enterprise and Patagonia Health Services. I'll take a motion to recommend these to full board.
So move.
Support.
Moved by Haw, supported by Grote. Jaco?
Yeah, Commissioners, these are the monthly maintenance that we bring forth for systems that we have. The Workday item is a true-up from the original amount of users that we have to where we are today. The Accent system is what the prosecutors use. And then also, we implemented a new health system for Department of Health called Patagonia, and that is what that one is for.
Jacob, can you talk about the health services, public health software? Because this is brand new. What does this do specifically for that department?
It pretty much replaces the system that they have used, I would say probably for the past 10 years or more, which was M&M.
Okay.
And the system just didn't do for them what, they needed in their department. And we started a process about, I think, 3 years ago, started looking at this, put this in the budget for last year, and then converted their system to this new system called Patagonia.
Is this software comparable as far as price with the old software, or how does licensing work?
I think, maintenance is about $200,000, as you can see here, and I think that's comparable to what we used to pay for the other system as well.
Okay. Seeing no other speakers, please vote.
Motion passes 11-0.
Okay, next is 10D. This is purchase for HB 2026 PC replacements in the amount of $520,487.57. Need a motion to recommend the full board.
Support.
Moved by Wall, supported by Haw. Jacob?
Commissioners, as you know, we come to you really around March every year to give you unit pricing for equipment that we buy, specifically like computers and things like that. We came to you in March with unit pricing for this. Since we submitted this last week, we learned two things. In conversations with the vendor, HB, they told us that REMSI pricing, or the pricing that we used to use, I don't think it was REMSI, was actually not, it was NASPO. was not available to us anymore. So we obviously talked to them about that. We're very unhappy in that they notified us at such a late time. The pricing is the same as what we got before. The difference here is, and this is very difficult to determine, the computer pricing that I came to you with in March was $874.25 for a computer, a laptop. When we submitted this, the price increased to $1,138.25, a very significant increase. And I talked to you earlier about the volatility in pricing. That was submitted pretty much with pricing in April. And since then, we learned that the price have increased. The price was $1,138.25, and it increased to $1,151.83. There's unfortunately not much we can do. We did many things, like, for example, we are an HP computer shop. We went to Dell, asked them for, equipment with exactly the same specs. Their quote, which is Dell Michigan My Deal pricing, was $50 more than this one. So we believe in negotiations with them that we are still getting the best prices that's out there. We are now researching other avenues, but at this point in time, even if we go out to bid, we're not going to get better pricing. We're just going to waste time and move prices further up. The last time we heard that this will continue towards the end of the year, and hopefully things will stabilize, but we don't know, quite honestly, at this point in time. Because, like I said earlier, chips and memory specifically, those things are affected severely, and it's mainly because of AI. The demand from AI on computing is very, very significant worldwide. And those things are prioritized, and we have to deal with it. So for this ask, the request we put in was for $520,487.57. The price since then that I just mentioned went up from that to $526,372.21. So it's about $6,000 more. So we're asking that we can move forward with this. I know it's very difficult circumstances, very unusual, but we have to get these laptops replaced. Last year, we pushed quite a bit of our laptops out, which was already at 5 years. And these are the laptops that was purchased during COVID. So they're already 5 years old. So this year, we really believe that we should replace them. Otherwise, we're going to start really having difficulties with antiquated equipment.
Okay, Commissioner Howard?
Never mind.
Commissioner Goike?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. If if we pass it out and then next Thursday out of full board, are you already locked in at this 10% increase that's already been adjusted because it's such a volatile, or they did hold that price until end of the month or something?
I'm going to go out on a limb and say it will hold until then. That was the discussions we had with them. But I can give you another example, another vendor of ours that provide our infrastructure, the things that you talked about earlier, the Cisco, they hold their pricing right now at 2 weeks. That's all that they can guarantee.
That's why I asked.
Nothing more. And, so it is, we're hoping that this is good, and we obviously had those conversations, and that's what we're going for. If it doesn't, I'll obviously be in touch with the board to let you know that things have changed, but we believe stay.
I would hope for you to make a phone call after today's vote and tell. Thank you.
Commissioner Howard?
Yeah. I was trying to just make sure I got my question together before I ask. So this is with HP. Is there any reason why we can't look at another comparable brand?
I mentioned that we did look at Dell, which is really the two brands that cater for business. We have been a Dell shop, I would say probably 10 years ago, and we eventually moved to HP because we got better deals with HP, and we have been with HP for quite a while. The Dell quote was about $50 more today than the quote that we got from HP. They're in the same situation. Their pricing fluctuates as well. But that's where we are today. And their quote is the Michigan My Deal price.
HP or Dell?
Dell.
Okay, and we didn't look at any other brands other than Dell or HP?
There's really not, any other, we can go to, I don't want to name companies, but we can go to some of the other companies which are very expensive. And, IBM, if I have to name one, they are generally more expensive than us, than these two companies.
Okay. And just so I can just get a general understanding, like just one of the Z-Book H Furry, like those are 3,000 plus a piece. Like what is the need for a laptop with that capability? Just so we can understand, like somebody's asking,
Sure.
why are we buying $3,000 laptops? I want to be able to explain it to them.
Absolutely, it's a fair question. Planning, for example, upstairs, they have a program called GIS.
Oh, yeah.
Very, very resource intense. They use, or the people that do that use eBooks. The rest of their department don't. So it's for high intense type computing.
That's all for now.
Commissioner Voino.
Thank you. So my questioning, I guess, is on a similar path as Commissioner Howard. So I think my first question is, as far as laptops, is there a reason why they have to be laptops? I mean, laptops are more for portability. Are all of these individuals working remotely, or is there a reason why we couldn't use or purchase desktops?
The decision was made in 2020 during COVID that we want to go more mobile because at that point in time, a lot of people in the county worked remotely. It also provides mobility for people that sometimes work remotely and sometimes work from the office. It is county equipment. That's the other part of it. When people do work remotely, we prefer that to be county equipment and not people's personal computers because we have better control over the security. So that decision was made at that point in time, and we did that, and we still have quite a bit of desktops out there, like, for example, at the Sheriff's Department. The decision was made for a large part of that organization not to buy laptops, except, for example, detectives and people like that. So it provides mobility, which is, even for people that don't work remote, you have people that go to different locations and so on, and they can take their laptop with them, and still continue to work. So that was a decision we made at that point in time.
I think then the other question would be, again, does it have to be this level of laptop for do they all have to be the same? I mean, planning might need, a laptop that has greater capabilities than another department. I mean, I guess I really, have a concern that we're buying all the same type of laptops when not all of the users are going to be needing those same capabilities.
Yeah. Obviously, once again, standardization makes support of an environment like that much easier. When we push updates, do things like that, for every different computer, you have to create different packages and so forth. And they have their own quirks and the way things work. So we really use those two type of computers when it comes to, the powerful one, the more powerful one called a ZBook, and then the ProBook, which is the other one. Also, these are industrial type computers. When you work on a computer all day, leave computers on overnight and things like that, they need to be much more robust than a computer that you buy for example, personal use, because you would switch it off and do things like that. That is how our operation works, and that makes it for all of us much easier to maintain that environment and maintain that environment more effectively.
Yeah, I guess, I work for a benefit management company, and all of our workers, 90% of them are remote. And so they also are utilizing laptops for work and not home use, and they are property of the company that I work for. And I know that we are purchasing laptops right now because, of course, they've been, they might be ending, their reasonable useful lifetime as well. And I know that we did not pay that much per laptop. So I really, I guess, would implore that we look at something that's more reasonable than this. And we also have to do all the security updates. I mean, the benefit management company, it's in the healthcare space. So security is extremely important. And so they're doing all of those patch updates quite frequently. And again, I mean, I think that the laptops we're purchasing are more around the $500, $600 price.
I can assure you, Commissioner, there's no way that I can get an industrialized computer today for $500. That is going to satisfy our user community.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Romano.
That's another company making a bid on those, Jacob. Jacob, I want to make sure I get the numbers right. So you're saying for a difference, there's a difference here of $1,128, or was there a difference of
Yeah, it's about 6,000.
about 6,000 total?
Yeah.
I've got to ask, who does your negotiating for you?
It's way more than that.
We do it internally in our organization.
Who's we?
Myself, my team, Tony on the left there. Tony is in charge of rolling out all these computers, keeping pricing, working, and he manages the relationship with HP. We've been doing it for years, and we have a lot of experience with it.
So we're looking at $500,000, and for the difference of $6,000, they won't eat any portion of that.
It's not $6,000.
I'm a businessman like you are, Jaco, and the company is, or the board is. I don't understand this. I don't understand. You're a negotiator, and I'm not picking on them, but we got $500,000. We're not talking nickels and dimes here. That's $500,000, and they won't negotiate $6,000. Don't make sense to me, Jaco. It's just a statement on my end. That's all I got, Chair. I can't support this.
Jaco, really quick, what was the original budget that you had for this?
It's about, I think, 1.15 million. I cannot remember the exact number.
Okay.
But this is half of the ask we have
Okay.
this year.
So theoretically, what you're asking for is almost spot on of what your budget is.
It is.
If you're doing if you're doing two this year, right?
It's hard to say because there's also other equipment in the replacements, not just those two computers.
Okay.
And I cannot tell you exactly now what that is, but we have computers in sheriff cars and things like that, which is different models than this.
Okay.
Even much more expensive.
Gotcha. Okay, so the 520 and change is within what you budgeted and should be there hopefully in the second tier. If prices keep going up at the rate that they are, have you considered buying everything now to get a better leverage on the price?
We've considered that, Commissioner. It's very hard at the time that, like I said, we submitted this. we didn't know about all the changes that was happening. We knew that the prices went up, yes.
Okay,
It is very difficult because what you do at the same time is when you buy computers and they sit with us until next year, because that's what Tony now has to do is roll out 1,000 computers
Right.
in the county, which is quite a big task. It takes us time. And those computers just sit and run down, warranties. That's the other side of it.
Okay.
So we try to balance it in an environment like this. It's very difficult to make that decision.
Okay.
And, because we might be lucky and prices might start coming down again. I don't know.
You don't know. So one person is prepping all of these laptops for the entire county.
Tony and
Tony's
his
doing
team.
everything. Okay.
He has a team of technicians.
I don't even know if this is an option, but does the manufacturer allow, or will they send us a laptop that's already preloaded with what we need and save our staff from doing that work?
You can probably do that, but they will most likely add cost to the laptop.
Okay. Do we know what that cost would be?
Not at this point in time. We've done that before.
We have, okay.
We found that it works better because of all the apps and things that we have to install. Because they, even if they do that, we still have a lot of applications for each user, and each department is different, that we have to install after the fact.
Okay. All right, I'm just trying to think outside of the box for you. Obviously, you guys have done that. You're within budget. Obviously, your next ask is going to be the roll of the dice here. So that's going to be the question mark. If it exceeds that budget for this year, if it's significant, are you going to hold off and do them next year? Are you going to watch the market? Like, what are you going to plan on doing? And I know we were kind of in this because we held back too, so.
Yeah, at this point in time, we'll watch what's going on in the news and how things are moving along and when we can come back for the next round. So that's the next phase of our planning.
Okay.
Really haven't made final decisions about that yet.
Okay. Still in the first round, Commissioner Zinner.
Thank you, Chair. This is my 6th year here, and from the first year, I thought everything was expensive on IT. I don't see that it's going to get less. It's just the way it is. Do we think it's going to get less? I don't think so. I always thought it was expensive. It's just the way it is. I don't think Jaco's doing anything wrong. I trust Jaco, honestly, and the team. It's just one of those things that we've got to deal with, I think. I don't see it, that's just how we feel about it. Thank you, Chair.
Okay. Second round, Commissioner Howard.
Hey, question for you, just to make sure I'm clear. And it's just, I'm asking questions just so I can understand, because I have a responsibility to my residents to ask these questions. And so not that I'm doubting you at all. I know, I unfortunately had to buy a computer recently, so I know how expensive things continually get. You said the original bid for the Pro books was $800, about?
For the ProBooks was $874.25.
Okay. So it's actually an increase of $129,000, not $6,000. Is that correct?
From the original, from what I brought to you in March.
Okay. No. Someone said $6,000, and I was just trying to.
6,000 from what we submitted in April.
Oh, okay. I understand. That's what I was confused about.
Yes.
Okay. My question for you, Chair, is that in here it says that these prices are good till 4:30. We're already 13 days past 4:30. What happens if we get to Thursday of next week, we pass this on full board, and they come back and say, we're not honoring those prices? What do we do then?
I think Jake would have to come to us for another amendment, or.
To me, we will have to cross that bridge when we get there. Commissioner, I'll come back and talk to the board and find out what would be the process. But I'm hoping that we will not have to deal with that.
Gotcha. Thanks. I was just trying to understand the process. Thank you.
Seeing no other questions, please vote.
Motion fails with Grote, Howard, Perna, Romano, and Voino voting no.
Okay, moving on. Item 10, E and F. This is a budget amendment for F and O, Facilities Project Manager, 1 FTE, in the amount of $63,850.76. I need a motion to recommend E and F to full board. Moved by Haas, supported by Lucido. Ben?
All right, back again. So item 10F, approving increase of 1 FT and the F&O F101 in the amount of $63,850.76 for a project manager position. Facilities and Operations is asking for approval to add a full-time facilities project manager. Compensation is pay grade PTA J. Total base pay range is $80,536.93 to $104,167.78 annually. The amount included in today's item would cover the salary of this position from July 1st to December 31st of this year. The Facilities Project Manager position has been in Facilities and Operations Department budget submission for the last 3 years. However, through managing positions countywide, it has not been funded as of yet. Facilities and Operations is responsible for managing more than 2.2 million square feet of county property with only one dedicated project manager. That individual is currently dedicated nearly 100% of their time to the Central Intake and Assessment Center Jail Tower Capital Improvement Project. As a result, the department is simultaneously overseeing 16 active capital projects, 7 in construction, 9 in design, with several more on the horizon, including potentially large-scale initiatives. To keep these projects on track, the General Foreman, Deputy Director, and myself have been managing multiple projects, diverting the team from their core leadership and operational responsibilities. Compounding the strain, F&O has been directed to assume capital project management responsibilities for Department of Roads and Marty Berry without providing any additional staffing to date. For the past 5 to 10 years, F&O is consistently right around 100 budgeted positions. Through attrition and because of past studies, we have given up several positions such as groundskeepers and housekeepers, which have balanced out positions that may have been since added. Additionally, filling positions has been quite a challenge. For many years, especially post-COVID, there were fair amounts of vacancies for our department. Likely in the past year or two, we have seen better results from our postings, specifically in the realm of custodians. This request for a facilities project manager is essential to protect the county's substantial capital investments. Without dedicated professional oversight, the county faces heightened risk of schedule delays, change order escalation, quality shortfalls, all which drive a total project cost. Approving this position will aid in restoring proper project management capacity, reduce potential long-term and financial exposure, ensure accountable, efficient delivery of critical infrastructure projects moving forward. That's all I have.
Okay. All right, Commissioner Hall.
Thank you, Chair. Well-written description, Ben.
Thank you.
Did a good job.
Appreciate it.
It's a follow-up on your last time at the podium here, I'm assuming.
Yep.
I do have one question. I was reading the general summary, basically what you were repeating there. It says, under direction, oversees medium, large-size construction, major renovation, and repair project. Under whose direction?
And fall under myself and the deputy director.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you're guaranteeing that this person is going to have facilities project manager experience?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Absolutely.
As long as you meet that, we're fine.
Yeah, facilities and construction project management for sure.
Great. That's all I have, Chair.
Commissioner Goike.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Pretty much following what Harold also said.
Sure.
Whether or not, when you put in on the resumes for the application of 15 years experience with just an associate's or a bachelor's degree, is that, to cover it?
Yeah, we have bachelor's degree is our preferred for this position, and really we're looking for people with extensive experience in not just municipal government or something similar, but construction as well, boots on the ground, project management, absolutely.
Thank you very much, Ben. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Commissioner Howard.
I think this is great. So I think it's gladly to support this. The 63,850 is for the salary. Does that include like what's
Half year.
so the benefits and all that stuff?
Yeah,
is
for half year.
separate.
Yeah, we get it from,
Oh, for half. Oh, I'm sorry.
yeah, we got that from HR. and
I
finance. Yep.
I
Half a year.
I can't believe it's May already. I thought it was January for a second there.
Yeah, we anticipate by the time we post it and fill it, we're looking at July before we're right.
No, this is awesome. Thank you for this approach.
Appreciate it.
Ben, just one quick question. So I know you said you have 16 current projects right now that you're currently managing with one project manager?
Well, yeah, my staff, between myself, Joe that's back here, and Gary Nielsen, our general foreman, we're handling kind of bulk of it.
Okay. So this person would be handling all that and any
Yeah, they'd be
additional-
helping with a majority of our, it'll depend on, what projects are happening. We're going to talk about one today, for example. So it's all going to kind of shuffle as soon as we get that position going.
And these are projects primarily that we're doing in-house too, correct?
So the project management in-house, that's really handled through our trades foreman and our general foreman. And part of the reason why I'm here asking for this today is our general foreman currently is running projects for us, outside capital projects for us, when really a bulk of his work is wrapping his hands around the trades and what we're doing in-house. So we're really kind of pulling away from that, and so we're asking a lot of staff down in the trades level. So it all kind of filters down, unfortunately.
Okay. All right, seeing no other questions, please vote.
Motion passes 11-0.
Okay, next is an item that was postponed from April 23rd, 2026, full board. This is contract with conventional carpet for carpet replacement in the Clemens Center Probation Department for $183,061.10.
Mr. Chairman, I want to make a motion to move the item to the next month meeting, Internal Services Committee,
Okay, so postpone it to
next month.
Support.
Support.
Thank you.
Okay, that's going to be the June 8th,
Meeting.
June 8th Internal Services, okay? Motion made by Grote, supported by Haw. Please vote.
Commissioner Perna, the system didn't capture your vote.
Yes.
Motion passes 11-0.
Okay, next is 10H. This is a contract with Plante, Moran, Realpoint for task order number 2. This is our Phase 1 services for Health and Community Services Facility Project, AKA the Verkuilen Building, for $450,000. I need a motion to recommend this to full board.
Motion to recommend to full board.
Support.
Motion made by Romano, supported by
Pick one.
Howard, or Perna? Perna? Ben? All you.
Hello. Again, this contract is a continuation of the discussion previously held at last month's Internal Services Committee. Based on feedback provided and questions that we've received, we'll present today a more tailored presentation to try to help answer these questions and provide some further clarity. So it's a slightly different presentation than last month. While that information is relevant, this is a little bit more direct. Steam Fountain, Plante, Realpoint, I think we're set to go.
Thank you, Ben. Thank you. Good afternoon, Commissioners. As Ben mentioned, we have a presentation here. It's intended to maybe address more directly some of the questions that we received last time we were in front of you. So without further ado, I'll jump into this. What we did was we took a little bit deeper look, or provided you a little bit more clarification on the various options that were presented previously. In front of you now is the Verkuilen building, which was one of the options you'd seen previously. There's two different variations within this option. One is to renovate the current footprint, and also there's an infill option to increase the overall square footage from 118 to 123,000. You can see the breakdown there with each option coming in at 62.5 million for option 1 and 69.5 for option 2 respectively. We provided you some clarifications just so we can provide as much transparency on what this option would include or potentially exclude. I'm going to move on to the next item here, which was the renovation of the south. Oh, go ahead.
Just talking about this, based on some questions we received, that interior renovation.
Ben, I'm sorry, would you,
Sorry.
please?
I'm not loud enough.
Thank you.
So I just want to touch on these exclusions or some things that aren't included in this. This is basically an interior renovation only. So this is inside the box, we'll call it. It's not inclusive of, windows, doors, masonry, kind of the bones of the structure, have you will, roofs, heating and cooling, or major heating and cooling. So just want to focus on that it's interior only renovation. This is not inclusive of my site issues. So continue, sorry.
Thank you, Ben, for the clarification. Also, we have an option here for the renovation of the Southeast Health Center. As the previous slide indicated, that renovation of the current facility would exclude the incorporation of the folks, the staffing that's down at the Southeast Health Center. So we have this option for your consideration. It's approximately 32,000 square feet and would require approximately $16 million of renovation. Again, to Ben's point he just made, this would include exterior site improvements, exterior renovations, your windows, any tuck pointing, your roofing, that's not included inside of that 16 million. So the building as you see it today would essentially remain intact and the interior would be renovated. The next option we have for your consideration is essentially the replacement of the existing Verkuilen building, new construction. This program would be approximately 113,500 square feet and would include a cost of $80 million. This would be essentially a ground-up solution. This is a brand-new facility with a life cycle of approximately 40 to 50 years. Again, we noted some of the clarifications here, and I think the other point is that this solution incorporates the folks that are down at Southeast. So in lieu of making the investment to renovate, you could put that on the table, and those folks would have a new location at or new space in this new solution. One of the other follow-up items that we received was related to demolition, and so we prepared this information for your consideration. Essentially, this is intended to give you a full, full budget of what you need to be prepared for if you were to consider demolition of either the existing Verkuilen building or the current Mount Clemens Health facility where the health department resides today. You can see the values respectively represented there at 6.3 and 1.1, approximately $7.5 million all in if you were to take both of those buildings offline and demolition them into a position where the existing site would be essentially available for future development considerations. So this slide's just essentially, it's meant to represent all of the information on the previous slides. You'll see with option 1 and option 2, we've included, and option 3, we've included the demolition of the Mount Clemens Health facility. The intent is that that facility is past its useful life. It's no longer functional on a go-forward basis, and the intent would be that in all of these solutions with the respective values, that building would come offline. Anything else you'd like to add?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So I know we talked last month about, we had some discussion about the cost of the Verkuilen demo, and we provided the cost at approximately 6.3 million. So we purposely left it off of this, and I'll give you my explanation as why. And it's not necessarily something we have to decide today, but this is my thought process as to why we may not want to make the decision on Verk right out the gate as far as what we do. So if we do indeed bond for this project and you put the demolition of Verk and Monkleman's Health building into that, you are forced to do that within the bond or within that program. There is an opportunity, as we don't know what position the county will be in and what other projects and problems come up in the next few years, that the cash flow for not demoing the Verk immediately may be beneficial to the county. And that decision can be made at that time where, you know, maybe it's a future capital project for me. Or we include it, either or. But there's some opportunity there to mothball that facility where it limits our exposure or certain levels of demo. So there's, you know, really just walls in there, but whatever it is. But that opportunity should be discussed at length over the next few months while we're going through this design process to make a good decision on whether we include the demo of Verk or not. The health department building has got to come down. It's just dilapidated at this point, whereas the Verk, we can make a good business decision as to whether we spend that $6 million now or later at a different time. The building, the shell, we can mothball it on the inside and again, limit utility expenditures and kind of decide that later. So we could go either way, but as far as today goes, I don't think we should make a decision based on Verk being included or not. I think we should go through some information and come back with some more information on that with our future design.
This slide is really intended to give you an overview of what is before you today for consideration in the Phase 1 services. So this activation of Phase 1 essentially allows the county to explore the new building further and to validate some information and then bring that back before this body for future consideration. Some key points we wanted to make note of is that the timeline on this is approximately 6 to 8 months. We would anticipate that with your support today, that we would be before you again to make a presentation in late Q4 of this year, maybe in early Q1 of 27, with the conclusion and findings of the Phase 1 services. This to get from now until the conclusion of Phase 1 is approximately 1.7 million of total costs that would include, you know, all the professional services necessary to kick off the design process, go through a cost validation exercise, and make sure that there are no outliers. This also allows us, as Ben mentioned, to study whether or not there should be future considerations for the existing Verkuilen building or not, and if so necessary, those costs could be either included or excluded for whatever the findings of the exercise yield. So we also wanted to just make note that there's no funding at this point for Phase 1 services that would be outside of the $25 million that came from the state of Michigan to the county. In the next slide, you'll see here in a moment, I'll give Ben a moment here to provide any color commentary, but there is a timeline here that we can show and illustrate kind of how far that $25 million will take you into this process. But I'll let Ben provide any color he'd like at this point.
I'm not too exciting to have color commentary, but we'll work on that. So really out the gate, what I want to say is just, it's procurement of these professional services like the architect and engineer. We would publicly bid that process. We'd have a group, I don't know who it would be at this point, you know, as a selection committee, just like we did with the jail, basically, following the same program. We'd onboard an architect and engineer through the bid process, and then we'd be looking at doing the same for a construction manager. So following the same similar process of the jail, bringing those in front of you as they as we go through those bid processes. So there's many steps along the way before we get to January that will be some check-in points where you see where we're at and where we're going. So that's all I have on this slide.
As I just mentioned, we have a timeline here intended to just give you an overall understanding of kind of where we would start and finish. Again, that $25 million takes you into construction before any other funding would be required. We provided a cash flow model to you previously. Happy to provide that to you again if it's helpful. But this timeline reflects the information that we prepared and provided to you previously in that cash flow. There are some other considerations here. This is intended to just really provide a high-level summary of what's included or what's not included in each option. I won't go through every single item here, but we just thought it'd be helpful just to have a quick snapshot summary of what each option would include or exclude. And that's the end of our presentation. We're happy to field any questions you might have. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Andy. Thank you, Ben. Commissioner Lucido.
Thank you, Chair. So first of all, I do support building a new facility. I understand that, I mean, the Verk is over 50 years old, and I think long-term, the responsible thing is to build a new one because I want to look 40 years from now and still have the building existing. So that being said, I still have a couple questions because I still want accurate numbers when we're given here. I noticed on page 6 of your presentation, where it says renovate Southeast Health Center. Now, we are presently not using the Southeast Health Center except for some minor services, correct? It's in the St. Clair Shores location?
There's health department and CMH working out of there. I don't know if Andrew wants to say what his staff do out of there.
Okay, so the health department's
It's
working.
fully operational. It's up and running.
Okay, but I know that they only do like the shots and stuff very periodically out of that building. I don't think there's a ton of services that are performed out of that building because I'm not really sure why, if we renovate, we have to pay $16 million to renovate that building also. If we're renovating, you mean we can't move to that main building to the?
And correct me if I'm wrong, but the amount of staff in that building won't fit in the current layout of the Verk building. If we build a new one, they will fit into that.
Well, option 2 was to renovate and infill. So would that not be?
Yeah, you'll see on that slide, it mentions that the Southeast Space Center program is excluded from that, so they don't fit the renovate and infill. The square footage isn't there.
Okay, what exactly, okay, because I mean, I live right by the Southeast one. I mean, I used to go there, but then now they don't offer any of the services that I utilize through the health department at that building. So I guess what is actually operational out of the Southeast right now?
Good afternoon, Commissioners. So you have Healthy Communities program, which is a field-based program.
Yes.
So there are a lot of services and programs, not necessarily all services that you come into that building for, but in terms of the health side. Now, I can't speak for CMH because half the building is CMH services, and I think they do actually have in-person client services at that location. But that would be something for CMH to answer and speak for. We also have children's health, special health care services programs based off of there, as well as hearing and vision, which is another field program. That's where they keep all their supplies, do their reports, and so the building is full, it's being utilized.
So
Just not necessarily all services that you come in.
CMH uses half of that building. So would we be renovating their half of the building also? Would it be renovating the whole building for that 16 million?
Yeah, so that 16 million would be the entire inside, correct?
Okay.
Yeah, because
And CMH is planning on going into the new Verk then, if we rebuild?
that's an option that we'd explore. It's on the table.
So even though it's gonna be a smaller building than what we're in existence, we're even gonna be moving another department into there, is what you're saying?
Yeah, so it's about efficiencies. Yeah, so the current Verk is, it's a strange design. It's very broken up.
I'm
A lot
familiar.
of useless space.
Yes.
Those courtyards, all that stuff. So what happens there is we lose the efficiency of space. So the new building will actually be smaller because we're able to design it to our need versus trying to fit it in a mold that's already there.
Oh, okay, because I didn't realize that CMH was moving in there also, so that's.
So Southeast Health was on the capital plan for a long time, and we took it off back when we first started talking about this about 4 years ago or so. Just didn't want to spend good money for bad, but it needs a total HVAC renovation. All the ceilings have to come down, waterproofing, tuck pointing, the whole 9 yards. So it just hasn't been on the capital plan as of recently because we've been discussing this. So it was on there, and here we are.
Okay, that's all I have, Chair. Thank you.
Commissioner Goike.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. First of all, I want to be proactive, but, trying to look out for the people's money in the county, Macomb, and our districts all across the area. I do believe probably building a brand-new building is probably the best fiscal way to go in one aspect of, not having to move people out to do renovations at the time or anything. But I'm adamantly opposed to tearing the Verk down. I think its usefulness is still within planning, and that's why we hire engineers and architects to do such things. So therefore, by pulling that out, I think that's very, a smart and wise decision to do. But some of the stuff that you are crossing over numbers on infrastructure outside, whether or not, all the drainage and everything works very well there right now, so that should be a minimal impact. I mean, the parking lot needs to be, ground up and repaved, but maybe some of the structures redone and stuff. But I think that would be the best out way to go, and hopefully the architects drawing these things up could be inclusive to that, and maybe even putting it in their plans for some type of a passageway between the two buildings, so that they can do, share a cafeteria or something, or if inter-services have to happen, there's still a pathway to utilize that. And it fits in our projects. It's in an area where most of our services are at in the county. 100% we have to tear the health department down, the existing one. That's my feelings on it, because, even looking at numbers, not getting into it, you're looking at, $700 a square foot, building the new building, roughly $400 on renovations per square foot. That's a lot of money. Are you going to tear your house down when you got to redo it, when you still got, a 40, 50% value to it on main infrastructure? So my suggestion is let's make sure we keep the bonnet good, the roof. And if anything happens as far as the boiler stuff, to keep the heat in the building, because no matter what, square footage has to be covered. So that's not going to be, but when it comes down to renovations, there's no sense of doing nothing until we got a final idea, because of the way cable trays have to run for running new wiring and new electric and new computer services, and the same thing with all the fire protection that has to go into it. So I hope you take all that into consideration. So as the architects, thank you.
Commissioner Haw.
Thank you, Chair. Ben, on page 6 again, there's 2 footnotes. The second one is future utilization of existing work building. Is that why there is no demolition cost there?
Yeah, I don't, kind of what I was going on, my little dissertation about demolition, is I don't think, and kind of to piggyback on what Commissioner Goike said, I think we need to spend some time with the demo of the Verk and decide, not right now, whether we should knock it down immediately or not. I think some discussion needs to be had there.
So the $450,000 you're looking for full board approval on will help you make these decisions? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, it's gonna put us through the process. So once we onboard architects and engineers, and start looking at what the footprint of the new building looks like, and kind of how that starts shuffling, and there's gonna be some conversations with other departments like CMH, and kind of see how it all fits into that space. Those will all be part of those conversations and decisions. So, kind of piggybacking again, it's all in the same area. It's going to be adjacent to each other. So, I think we owe it some time and consideration through the schematic design process to, really look at what we're going to do there.
And I did hear, I thought I saw in the footnotes, this is not coming out of general fund monies. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay.
So the item today is all coming out of the grant.
Okay.
The task order number 1 is out of the grant.
So on your time chart, it says procure 2 months. Procure what?
Yeah.
So we'll work with the county. We have to procure an architect, we have to procure that service, we have to procure pre-construction services. There's a whole list of different activities here. If you look on the second bullet point on this slide here, which is number 7.
Basically,
you have-
all the engineers, consultants.
Okay.
It's the onboarding of everybody and anybody that you need to go through this process to complete the schematic design and come back to the board to give you, a presentation and update.
So according to the time chart, that's 2 months. So the next time we see you guys, you will have a recommendation of the 3 options of which way to go. Is that what I'm
No,
hearing?
we're gonna come to you with a recommendation to hire an architect that would be tucked into that 6 to 8, 9 months.
Okay.
We anticipate hitting the ground right away to get those RFPs issued and come back to you with a recommendation for award.
Well, at what point would you come back and say option 1, 2, or 3 is the best way to go?
I mentioned that the whole process we're anticipating is 6 to 8 months.
Okay,
We think
so
that
not
it'd
for a
be
while.
at the end of, try to get back to you before the end of this year, late Q4, but potentially early Q1 of next
Okay.
year.
So you guys were looking for a starting point to start the conversation on what to do. Okay, that's all I have,
To,
sir.
to be clear, Harold, what we're doing today, sorry. Task order number 1 is we're moving in the direction of the new facility. I'm in agreement, that, or that's what we're coming in today with, is bringing forward task order number 1 for a new facility. These architectural services, engineers, all those consultants, once we bring on the architects, they will help us on the demo side deciding what we're gonna do there as far as the existing Verkuilen building does or goes with. But as far as task order number 1, it's to kick off the process for going through schematic design for a new facility. And then coming back to you Q4, Q1 of next year, something like that.
Well, I greatly appreciate this presentation being much more informative than the last time we talked. It fills in a lot of holes in my mind, so thank you for taking the time to do that.
And we appreciate the questions, frankly, before this, so we can.
Oh, no, you don't. You don't have to. That's all I have, Chair.
Commissioner Howard.
We hang out with a lot of other county officials, and they normally have issues with like not having money, and our issue is like spending, unfortunately, more money than some other counties' total budgets. And so this is just obviously a big decision. So the Mount Clemens Health Center absolutely 100% needs to be demoed. I hear that. What is the goal of that property after the demolition?
No plans.
Okay.
Yeah, we would take it down to the ground and restore the site, the green space, until some other crazy idea.
Got it. I believe it was mentioned before. Sorry, I'm looking down. I'm trying to read my notes. I believe it was mentioned before about selling the Southwest Health Center. Do you have an idea of what we would get off of that? The Southeast Health Center.
I'm not prepared to give a number on it.
Okay.
Yeah, we'd have to explore that.
Gotcha. Options 1 and 2, just to make sure I heard you correctly, does not include windows and heating, which to me, is that correct?
There would be some,
like VRVs.
There's some capital improvements here, that $10 million line item that would address some of the interior infrastructure, heating, electrical, things like that. What we intended here was that the exterior facade is not going to be updated. Your windows, your masonry, your roof, anything like that, and any of the site amenities, that would remain as you see today. That was the intent behind that note.
Thank you.
Yes.
Those 3 things that he just listed, the tuck pointing, the exterior, the windows, the roof, will those things need to be addressed in the future?
Yeah, they need to be addressed now.
Now, okay.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, the windows are basically original, the caulk, the sealant, it's all failing. And I'm kind of hedging bets here a little bit because I don't want to keep dumping money in if, so the past few years, just trying to figure out where to spend money. Obviously, people are working in there, so I'm going to keep it heated, keep it cold, keep the roof
right.
from leaking. But
I guess really what I'm getting at, say, option one, you still got to do roof, windows, heating. And so $79 million really isn't the true investment that needs to go in that property. If we went, it would be higher because you would still need to factor in the cost of windows down the road, maybe. Not saying right now, but down the road, you'd have to factor in the cost of, we'd have to add in windows or maybe address the roof or the tuck pointing and things like that.
100%.
So
yeah, we would continue, if we kept the building or renovated the inside, we would still have capital improvement needs. That's how it works, like the jail, for example.
right, and it would be fair to make the assumption that that's probably to do the windows, tuck pointing, and roof. It's more than $2 million.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, which is the difference between 1 and 3, and then for I guess Mr. Andrew, just a quick question, just trying to understand.
This Andrew or this Andrew?
That Andrew, sorry. Mr. Cox. My biggest concern with options 1 and 2 is the displacement of services and our amazing employees. I know $3.5 million is in there about phasing employees, but like, how would that impact our services to our residents by options 1 and 2? Options 3, it won't, because we're building a new building and then we'll move everything over. But 1 and 2 will impact the service we provide.
Yeah, I think definitely we would need some planning around phasing employees because most of the planning has always been focusing on option 3, a new building. So we really need to look at that. And I think we've said in the past, one of the biggest challenges is going to be our clinical space that we have over there. Finding, adequate space somewhere else for a clinic because of the medical needs and all the requirements for medical care, clinical care. You can't just put that in an office building or a commercial setting. You'd have to have, obviously the appropriate setting. But the toughest one is by far Goldenberry. We have not been able to find an alternative space for Goldenberry. So we're, potentially talking about ceasing that operation or service potentially, which is the last thing we'd want to do for the people that rely on that service.
Got you. Thank you so much. That's all for this, Mr. Andrew. Two more questions. I know I asked one of these before, and you definitely answered it, Ben, but just wanted to make sure. When we look at the demo of the Mount Clemens Health Building, there's zero chance we can get a brown filter for that, considering the age of the building and Lord knows what's in there.
Correct.
Okay.
It's government-owned facility, so you can't.
Oh, because we own the facility.
Mm-hmm.
Got it. We can apply for brownfields, but we can't get them on our own buildings. Okay, I understand.
Correct.
Thank you.
Oh, perfect. Usually JP rescues me on brownfield questions.
No, you hit it out the park.
Sorry, we don't pay taxes on the property, so in order to recoup the funds back, we would need the incremental change in.
Yes,
so
yeah.
There would be no funds to offset that.
Yes, thank you. I guess it'd be bad if we paid taxes to ourselves. That's all, Chair. Thank you.
Commissioner Bueno.
My question is related to, so if we did go with option 3, is it safe to say that for some point we would have like 2 empty buildings? Right.
Correct.
And so I guess, look, what's the thought process for, I guess.
Well, in option
farm
3,
would
so
be
demo
maintained?
is included of the health department in option 3. What you'd end up with is eventually an empty Verk and an empty southeast. So that's what you have to figure out.
Right, that we have to do something with.
Yep.
Either maintain 2 empty buildings
Sell
or something,
yeah.
or pay to have them taken down. The Verkuilen building itself, is there some major structural issues with it that, you know, makes renovation, where, you know, renovating it for some reason wouldn't allow it to get, you know, another 40, 50 years out of that building?
Do you want to speak to that? You figure your numbers.
No, I think it's a fair question. I think that there are certainly things you can do to extend the life cycle of the facility. Typically, in commercial buildings, you plan for 40 or 50 years. You're at that mark right now. Any investment moving forward, we would anticipate that you're talking about a 15 to 20 year extension of that life. To answer your question directly, I can't sit here and necessarily reference any structural foundation, structural steel, anything like that. But it will require investment in the electrical infrastructure, your HVAC, things like that. Those things would potentially extend that life cycle, but we're not talking about the life cycle of a new facility of 40 to 50 years. We're talking about 15 to 20.
Okay. That's all. Thank you.
Commissioner Wallace.
Thank you, Chair. Not anything really for you guys, just for the board. When we were talking about the southeast building and talking a little bit about how CMH is in there and possibly they would need to go to the Verk, none of that we haven't brought any of that to CMH board, so maybe that's something that you guys are discussing with them on the other end. But I do know the way that how we are scattered is strategically for the patients, and we have to be like close to bus stops and spread out in different places so the patients can get what they need. So I do know the CMH board will have an issue being in the Verk specifically, which is not your problem, just so the board is aware of, you know, it will be discussed. And hopefully we're wrapping this up soon because we do have a CMH meeting right after this and I have to run good food.
Good for you.
Good for you.
Okay, any other speakers? No, I just want to summarize everything. So, first of all, I've thought about this for a long time, and I've been in hours and hours of meetings with Ben and team and commissioners. I think what we fail to think about here is when you're dealing with a 50-year-old building, like if you're renovating a house that's 50 years old and you start tearing down things, you never know what you're going to find. This here, I think, has a lot of risks in option 1 and option 2 because we have services that we're currently providing that would have to be relocated for a great amount of time so that these buildings can be renovated because they can't be renovated while they're occupied. So these two there are significant risks, and I think what we've learned over the past, and I'm going to use the jail as an example, is that we've always put Band-Aids on the jail for a number of years, and then, you know, it was brought to the board, we should build a new jail, and then that didn't happen, and now we've actually made decisions, and we watched the building transform in front of us, and obviously just got that update not too long ago here. So I'm in support of option 3. I think it's the right decision. I think the other thing too in option 1 and option 2, and even in Southeast, is that Ben and team are going to still come to us with capital improvements that are going to be required in those buildings if we keep them. I think we build a new building, and in the first 10 years, there's really no maintenance. I mean, it's done for the first 10 years. Obviously, you got to maintain it thereafter, but we know if we build it, it's going to be there for 50 years. And I think the way that we're building the new CIAC building, the type of materials that we're using, which are great materials in the sense of maintaining them over time, you know, we're thinking more strategically in how we build these buildings so that our F&O department doesn't have to put these large expenses in maintaining these buildings year over year that we have to approve. So I think those are smart things. And I think we've learned over time this is the best way to go. I do want to say that, you know, Southeast, we're not losing any services in the southern end of the county, so I know that's very important to some commissioners that are in those districts specifically that are representing them. So that was one key thing that I was happy to hear, that we're not losing any services in Southeast. I do have some concerns about that building just based on other costs that are going to come up in the near future. If we keep it, I think it's a better decision to move out of that facility and sell it. Whatever that number works out to be, it really goes towards the overall cost of this project in general. And, you know, the $450,000 that we're looking to move forward here on today, it's getting the ball moving. You know, they have to come back to us with more concrete numbers so that we can make the final decision on this. But I think this is the best way to move forward. I think the biggest question, first of all, that I think we're all going to have to work on is really the $12.5 million at the state that we need to get extended. So that's something that we're going to have to work on to make sure that that does continue in the budget. And in regards to demolition, whether we include it or not included, we know that we have to demo the health department building, and whether we include it in the bond or in this project, or we pay cash, I mean, whatever we decide to do, it's got to be done. But I do agree with Ben, I do agree with Commissioner Goyke in the sense that the Verk, you know, if we don't need to knock it down today, we can make that decision tomorrow, in a couple of years, whatever that case may be. So I think that's a smarter play. And we don't know what we're going to need it for, so there's no sense of just knocking it down. So I think this checks the vast majority of the boxes on the list here to get us to the next level. I know a lot of people put a lot of time and effort into this. And, you know, thank you to the team for just answering all the questions, going through it, and making sure that we all have a clear understanding now of what the path is. So that being said, I don't see any other speakers. Got a motion on the floor. Let's vote.
Motion passes 11-0.
Okay, next is public participation. It's the opportunity for public participation on anything, any public participation. Going once, twice, we'll close public participation. Commissioner comments. Any commissioner comments?
Just to say this was a good day for Ben.
Ben came with water today, a bottle of water too. Commissioner Howard?
Just really quick, on the laptop purchase that we obviously voted down in committee, there was no, in the bid tab, it said it was not bidded out. I read it 5 times just to make sure before I made this comment. It was not bidded out to Dell, at least on our record. So just wanted to make that publicly aware.
Okay. Any other commissioner comments? That's Commissioner Zinner?
We had an older adults Michiganders Day today. A couple of the commissioners couldn't make it, but we had staff there, and we had a great time. We did listen to some of the speeches and things, and but Adriana came up with some points on Michigan, and I came up with some, and I have just a couple here you might find interesting. Who was the first governor?
Yours.
Oh, good job. Couple new. How old was he? When he was
born.
He was not 17. He was 23. And what was his nickname?
Goofy.
His nickname was the boy governor because he was so young by the next of years. And we have a green gemstone only in Michigan. Do you know where? Mr. Isle Royal, only Michigan has that.
Isle Royal.
And a fluorescent rock in the Upper Peninsula. It's very cool if you look it up online. And more. Savannah and Adriana are both brilliant. If you need to go on a game show, take them both with you. Thank you very much.
All right,
And
thank you,
God,
Commissioner.
never go out without our staff anywhere. That's my best advice.
Support.
Made by Wallace, supported by Grote. Please vote.
Look at that, you got your
credit today.
Again.
See you tomorrow.